how to avoid the tax man and probate court, but how do I avoid the fourth-headed monster, the nursing home? Oh my, oh hey folks, Elder Law Care Attorney Patrick Kelleher coming to you from elderlawcare.com. Folks, today's question is, what type of trust do I need, Patrick? Do I need a revocable trust or an irrevocable trust? And folks, a great question, a very common question, and the answer is, it depends. It depends on what you have and what you want to protect from. So pull up a chair, get your pen out in your notebook, because I'm going to teach you today, folks, whether you need a revocable trust or an irrevocable trust, or maybe not a trust at all. And again, folks, typically folks do not need them, but from my experience, folks want them because they desire, they have goals, they have visions, and they want to avoid what I call the metaphorical four-headed monster of estate planning and elder law. They do not want to share what they worked hard for their entire lives with these folks right here. They want to share it with whom? They want to share it with their loved ones, the people they love the most. They want to pass that off to their children and maybe even their grandchildren. And folks, I have another video on this at elderlawcare.com. You can Google Elder Law Attorney Patrick Kelleher, revocable trust versus irrevocable trust. But this is important subject matter, very common question. I'm covering this in my second book that'll be released soon as well on Amazon. Elder Law 101, the top 20 elder law questions. But folks, let's tackle it because it's important. Folks, a good way to remember revocable trust, okay? That's funded. Step one, this is important. You create your trust, but it's not a magic red book, right? You have to engage in step two, getting your treasures, your home, your non-real estate retitled to your trust. Why? Because sadly people die, trusts do not. So that will avoid probate court once you engage in step two. So a good way to remember revocable trust, revocable, funded, that I just illustrated, will avoid probate court. Why do people want to avoid probate? Takes too long, costs way too much. Number two, if your attorney put tax planning in there for a married couple, the Internal Revenue Code allows a married couple to create marital trust planning and bypass trust planning to reduce your estate tax to the greatest degree possible. So a revocable trust with tax planning, and I specifically emphasize that because they all do not have tax planning. I've reviewed many trusts, and oftentimes the revocable trusts are probate, mere avoidance trust only, first-headed monster, and they're not even funded, so they won't even avoid probate, right? Be aware of that. They have to be funded. Step two, getting your treasures into your treasure chest. Assuming they are in the treasure chest, they're not going to avoid taxes unless it has proper tax planning in there, marital trust planning, bypass, credit shelter trust planning it's called, okay, for married couples. And number three, it's not going to avoid the third-headed monster, but it can when it has family bloodline protection language in there. Make sure your experienced elder law attorney puts it in there, designed to protect your loved ones from their times of turmoil, automobile accidents, lawsuits, divorces, things of that nature. In-laws turning into outlaws during a contentious divorce proceeding. Because from my experience, most of our clients want to keep the assets in the family bloodline to the children and then to their descendants, which are your grandchildren. They do not want to share the assets with the in-laws, especially when they become outlaws. And they often do in a divorce proceeding. So revocable trust, folks, that's funded, will avoid the three-headed monster. Good way to remember. Probate court, the tax man, financial creditors and predators, so long as it has the proper language in there, not an automatic, so you have to make sure you work with an experienced estate elder law attorney that's going to put the proper language in there and fund your trust to slay the three-headed beast. The distinction, revocable trust does not protect from long-term care, Medicaid, or mass health or nursing home protections if you're looking for that. That trust needs to be an irrevocable trust. Irrevocable trust, folks. Why? Because you're looking to protect from whom? The government, Medicaid, mass health here in the Commonwealth, okay, for long-term care if either you or your spouse became completely incapacitated. So long and short of it, a lot of our clients create both trusts when they have significant equity in the family home and they're of age, 60, 65 or over. They put their home only in the irrevocable Medicaid asset protection trust because they can still live in there. They close the treasure chest and they get that 5-year clock running for Medicaid purposes. And then 5 years later, at the age of 65 or 70, their house is off the table for mass health, Medicaid, but they still have to touch their other assets, the non-real estate, the cash money, and things of that nature. But they don't want to share that with probate, tax man, or financial creditors and predators of their children. So they put the cash money in their revocable trust. So there you have it, folks. A good way to assess and evaluate that. Chapter 2 in my book, How to Avoid a Four-Headed Monster. I cover it. I call it the 3 W's. What do you have? Who do you want to protect it for? And why do you want to do it? okay? Because nobody makes us do it, folks. In fact, the government does not educate or even encourage us to protect what you worked hard for from these guys right here. Folks, if you found this video helpful, please scroll down, post a comment, a question. Make sure you subscribe and share this video with others that you love and care about so they too have an opportunity to slay the four-headed beast of estate planning and elder law. If you'd like to learn more, go to Amazon, pick up a copy of my book because you will learn a lot. Folks, thanks for joining us today at elderlawcare.com.